All right, I guess I'm streaming. I don't know if this is actually going through, so hopefully we'll see. Let me see. Good evening. I type on the live chat. Battery on my laptop is about to die. Let's close some of these. So I have two people watching, apparently. Good evening. This is David with MBLEx Test Prep. I'm just trying out this live streaming thing. Thought I'd do a little Q&A if you have any questions about the MBLEx or massage or anything like that. Just type them up. It should show up in the chat here, and I'll answer them as I see them. So we'll do this as long as I've got people just hanging out. So fire away. Fire away. What are your questions? What do you have? While I'm waiting for questions, I'll kind of talk about what I've got going on. I've got this book right here that I have written, Kinesiology Made Easy. I am redoing this book. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's mostly the same. However, I made the text a little smaller. I changed the font, and that presented a whole mess of problems. It's taken me a lot longer to redo this book than should be necessary. What else did I do? Now I have labels for origins and insertions. Origins and insertions on each muscle. Geez, what else? I added a couple more pages. Fun thing is, in the new book, all of these pictures are in color, and that's very important. So I made these black and white so that I could actually, charge not a lot of money for the books. I think they're only like $20 on Amazon right now. But I think it's actually worth it to charge a little bit more for a book that has colored photos, especially stuff like muscles, so that you can actually see where the origins and insertions are. Because a lot of these are kind of hard to tell. So I added a couple more muscles, added a couple more pictures of like nerves, stuff like that. So that is in the editing stage right now. Getting a couple people to look over that, and then it'll be done. So what else do I have going on? I don't know. I'm just hanging out. Geez, what else? I'm kind of toying with opening a CEU website and offering CEUs for sale. So, anyone got anything they want to say about that? No, nothing. So my CEUs would be, I've got courses made already, kind of, but it's one of those things. I don't know which one to do first. My wife also teaches massage, or taught massage, I guess you could say. She's got a reflexology course done. Geez, what else did she have done? Oriental massage, shiatsu, a shiatsu course done. She's got all that stuff done. It's just is that what people want for CEUs, or do you want something else? So that's what I'm kind of toying with right now. It's which one do I want to offer? Welcome to new viewers. Feel free to send me any question you have. Just type it in the chat or as a message or something. It should pop up right here in the live chat, and I should be able to answer it. So I'm open to any question, anything you have massage related, business related, MBLEx related. It is called MBLEx Test Prep, of course. So I'm just kind of talking, rambling, talking. That's what I do. So yeah. Anyways, like I said, I'm in the process of trying to figure out what to do with this CEU website that I've got. Where to start with it, which classes to start with. So I don't know. So let me know what you think. Like, what would you be interested in regards to continued education courses? Do you want expanded? Do you want expanded versions of what I've got in my books, or do you want something completely different? I got a lot to offer. So I don't know. Lady K Massage. Good evening. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be right back. I got to go get the charger for my laptop. I'll be right back. I have returned. So let me plug this in really quick. Okay. So should be good. Should be good now. So yeah, there we go. So as I was discussing just a couple minutes ago, I do have another book in the works. It is not an MBLEx guide. It is a kinesiology guide, updated version of this book, Kinesiology Made Easy. Just doing like color photos, different font, smaller font, etc., etc. Really interesting stuff, I know. But so that's what's going on with me. So what's going on with everybody else? What do you got going on? Any questions I can answer for you? Anything at all. Just fire away. Otherwise, I'm going to keep talking, and that can only get me in trouble. So just let me know what you want me to answer, and I will answer it for you. So let's see. I'm looking around, seeing if there's anything I can talk about in the immediate vicinity. I've got, oh, there's a question. What do you suggest for a person who's been out of school for 4 years and have to take the MBLEx exam? I'm very overwhelmed with where to start studying. Help me. Well, this may be a little biased, but by my book, I have worked with students before who have been out of school for a while for whatever reason. A lot of them couldn't pass the licensing exam. And just working with me, they were able to get over that hump and actually end up passing the test. Now, there were some bumps in the road along the way, of course, but I had one student who took the national exam who, let's see, she failed it once and then stopped studying, stopped doing anything for about 3 years, 2 or 3 years. And she started going to my class. I used to teach a test prep course. So she started coming to my class, and she still failed 3 more times after that. She had really bad test anxiety. Unfortunately, a lot of people do have test anxiety. But the 5th time she got through it. Now she's a licensed massage therapist and living the dream, as they say. All right, so you said you have my book. That's a good start. So what I would do I would follow the study. Hold on one second. Follow the study plan I have laid out in the section entitled How to Use This Study Guide. So it's all right here. So figure out, as you go through the book, you'll figure out what you need to work on and what you don't need to work on. So you figure out what you need the most work on. And for the first week, I want you to do stuff like watch my videos, use the online flashcards, the online practice tests, all of that really exciting stuff that I've got for you. Use all of those for your studying. For the first week, you're going to focus on the thing that you need the most work on. And nothing else. Don't study anything else other than, like, if kinesiology is your worst subject you need the most work on, study nothing but kinesiology for the first week. For the second week, you're going to figure out what you need more work on, in addition to, like, kinesiology. Kinesiology is your worst. Let's say pathology is your second worst. For that second week, 80% of your studying, let's say you're studying 10 hours a week, 8 hours of that needs to be dedicated to pathology. The other 2 hours are for kinesiology. So the first week, all 10 hours are kinesiology. The second week, 8 out of the 10 hours are pathology, and then 2 hours are kinesiology. Then the third week, let's say anatomy and physiology is the next subject that you need work on. For the third week, you should be starting to get a grasp on stuff like kinesiology and pathology. So 80% of your studying that week in the third week would be like on anatomy and physiology. Then 20%, the other 2 hours, would be on pathology and kinesiology. You can do like an hour of each. And then by the time the fourth week comes around, you do massage therapy, everything massage therapy related. Massage business, ethics, etc., etc. That would be 80% of your study time. So 8 out of 10 hours you're going to use studying massage therapy and everything related to that. And then the other 2 hours you're going to divide between kinesiology, pathology, and anatomy and physiology. And then one more week, study everything. So you can evenly distribute your study time between those four subjects. 2.5 hours each should be plenty of time, and by the time you're done studying for 5 weeks or whatever it is, I usually recommend at least a month and a half, especially if you've been out of school for a while. You said 4 years? Ooh. 4 years is a long time. 4 years is a long time. So it might take you a little longer, but by the time you get to that 5th week, you should be pretty well versed in the stuff that you need to study in all of those subjects, and it really shouldn't be too much more difficult. Now, if you still feel like you aren't ready at that point, just start over. So you do a full month of studying the way I've laid out, and then start over. Start back with the subject you need the most work in. So kinesiology for another 10 hours, and then next week pathology for 8 and kinesiology for 10 or 2, and then just repeat until you feel like you've got everything handled. And that's what I would do. There have been times where I've 4 years is kind of a long time. But I mean, I've gotten emails from people that have been out of school for 10, 12 years or something like that. And geez, that's like when I graduated massage school 10, 12 years ago. So it can be done, because I've had people that have been out of school for that long, or have been massage therapists somewhere where they didn't have to take a test, and then they move somewhere that requires them to have a test. They have to retake that exam, and they need to study up for that. I've had people that haven't had to take any classes or study like that for a really long time still do really well. So yeah, follow that plan. Check again. Read the page in the study guide titled "How to Use This Study Guide." Make sure you read all of the study tips I have laid out in that book, and your test taking tips. Even if your test isn't for a while, use your test taking tips. I got a cat about to join me. This is my cat Gannon, one of my cats anyway. Gannon loves to be spanked, right? Gannon loves to be spanked. Anyways, so read your test taking tips as well, and while you're doing the online practice tests or even the practice tests in the book, use those practice or the test taking tips that I have laid out in here, and figure out why you're getting questions right that you're getting right and why you're getting questions wrong that you're getting wrong. And make sure you're watching the videos too that I have after each practice test on the individual subjects anyway, the smaller practice tests, like the 50 question practice test. I do have a link right down there at the bottom that tells you where to go to watch a video of me actually going through the practice tests, one question at a time, and explaining why the questions are what they are, why the answers are what they are, how we get to that conclusion. Thank you very much for that compliment. A lot of fun went into making those videos, especially the last one, the kinesiology practice test video with my boy interrupting. Hi, boy. Hi. Boy's downstairs. Any other questions? I mean, I'm completely open. I'm free to go right now. So, anything else you need help with? Any specific questions on anatomy, physiology, pathology, anything? Anything at all. I am here to help. What do you want me to say again or post again? A little confused by that question. So if you go to the bottom of, like, let's say here's the anatomy and physiology practice exam. I don't have my water bottle. I'm parched. I can't talk right now. On the page with the answer key, down at the bottom, there's a link that you follow right here, right there. So just type that into your web browser, watch the videos where I go over all of those. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to give it away for free because that's kind of extra content for people that purchase my book. A way for me to say thank you for purchasing my book. Here's all of this extra stuff. Okay, so I've been going over my vocabulary. That's been a week. What, your medical terminology? I mean, it's like learning another language because, it kind of is another language. But medical terminology, if that's what you are weak in and that's what you think can help you a lot, start with studying that. As medical terminology is, man, there's so much you do with it. Anatomy and physiology, a lot of the terms in anatomy and physiology are derived from medical terminology, especially pathology. Man, I can break down a medical term just by looking at the name, even if I've never seen it before, just because I know medical terminology. So, I believe I have flashcards on medical terminology on my webpage, so make sure you are using those. I would, it can't hurt to actually make physical flashcards too. Doing stuff like making flashcards, it helps you remember because you'll remember actually writing stuff down, and especially if you talk about what you're writing down as you're writing it down. Something else you should be doing is teaching a lot of this stuff to people, and that helps drill it into your skull. So make sure you're teaching this stuff to people. Like, I don't know, if you got a spouse, significant other, whatever, just say, hey, this word over here, I know what that means. It means this. Do you know what that word means? Something like hepatitis. Somebody says hepatitis. You say, well, do you know what hepatitis is? Well, just think about the terms. They say no. You say, well, hep, the medical word root hep, means liver. Itis, suffix itis, means inflammation. So when you have high school students that are seniors that have senioritis, they have inflammation of the senior, apparently. Should be seniorosis. Seniorosis. So definitely study your medical terminology. Teach it to people. Yeah, see, it helps. Good evening, Kenny, apparently. 617 Kenny. Booyaka, booyaka. 617. Now, if you get that reference, I'll be really impressed. I'm full of references that nobody understands. That's just how I roll. What else? So, study your medical terminology. That's really important. You need to know medical terminology, especially for the pathology section. You don't want to go into pathology not knowing medical terminology. I am in the process of possibly opening my own massage school in the next year or so. So, the very first class that all of my students will take is medical terminology. I have determined that, written it down, prepared the class. It's all done. It's ready to go. So that's how important it is. The school I used to teach at for the massage students didn't teach them any medical terminology at all, and they just kind of threw them in there and expected students to figure it out, which is really disheartening. And my class, the class I taught, was at the very end of the program, and that would be the very first time any of the students would have any form of instruction in medical terminology, and it's really sad that it took, up until that point to get them that. But yeah, medical terminology is really important, and it'll really help. So make sure you start with that. Make flashcards. Study the flashcards I've got. The flashcards I've got, the fun thing about that, you can actually take tests using those flashcards. The program I've got actually lets you do that, so it'll kind of quiz you on that. Make sure you watch the videos too, because I give examples of all of these terms, like when you could possibly see a term like salpingectomy or I don't know, encephalitis, stuff like that. So make sure you watch those and study your medical terms. And I should have a decent amount of medical terms in this book. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, just like in real life, I put it before anything else other than massage, because the medical terminology doesn't really apply to massage therapy itself, but it applies to everything else. So, yeah. So make sure you study your medical terms. Here's a fun story. This picture, wait, right there, of pitting edema. Pitting edema. That's actually my wife's foot, and that's my hand pressing into her foot. Man, that was a fun day. Started that day off in Cancun, Mexico. Ended it in the emergency room back home. It was super exciting. Anyway, she was a surrogate. She had to have an emergency C-section, and she had pitting edema as a result of the pregnancy. So that's kind of a side effect of pregnancies once in a while. And our first pregnancy that produced our child, she did have pitting edema, and I completely forgot to snap a photo of it. So I made sure to get it for that. I am in Reno, Nevada. Reno, Nevada, the biggest little city in the world. West Coast is the best coast, as they say. Yeah, so, any other questions? Anything else I can help with? Like I said, I'm here to help. Yeah, my wife is fine. She's fine. She was not with me. Have I ever worked on an amputee? Yes, I believe I have. Yeah, I think I've worked on an amputee. I know I've worked on people that are missing parts of their body. I don't know if they were amputated or if it was just like a congenital, like a birth defect or anything. But I worked on one guy who was missing like half of his hand, like all of that was gone, and I'm working on his arm, and I didn't notice it because it was on his left hand. And I always shake with your right hand like you do. I've got the cat back in my lap. There's the cat. Spank the cat. And I go down to grab onto his wrist and pull to do a shoulder stretch, and if it just feels weird, and I look down and half of his hand is missing. I'm like, what? Okay. Like it doesn't gross me out. It doesn't freak me out. It was just unexpected. That's all. So I don't know if that person had half of their hand amputated. I assume it was just like a congenital birth defect. I've worked on people that are paralyzed before. That's interesting, getting them on and off the table. A lot of times they can kind of do it themselves, but yeah, I've talked to people about phantom pain, and not talking about Metal Gear Solid 5. Now, if you get that reference, man, be really impressed. But I've talked to people about phantom pain before. I can't remember who I was talking about it with, but yeah, they said they do experience it a bit, where they think that they have an itch or something, so they go down to scratch it and there's nothing there. So psychologically it still feels like they're kind of relieving that itch, but yeah, the brain is weird. The brain is super weird. You are welcome, Lady K Massage. Massage. I was in New Orleans a couple years ago with my wife, and we went to a coffee shop down on Decatur Street, right at the end of the French Quarter. And in this coffee shop, there's like a cork board with stuff that people can hang up, flyers and stuff. And we found this flyer for this massage therapist. I don't know if he calls himself a massage therapist. His name is Bobby T, and he developed a type of massage called Massage Work. I'll type it so you can Massage Work. And the flyer, the pamphlet it's really weird, really bad grammar, and it's got a picture of him on a beach in nothing but like swim trunks. Like, it's on my refrigerator right now. I'd go and get it, but I'm afraid everybody will tune out if nothing's going on. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a picture of it later or something and post it on something. But so once in a while, I call it massage instead of massage. But that's an example of the kind of advertising you don't want to have. Don't advertise yourself in a swimsuit or anything like that for massage therapy. Yeah, I don't even know what he developed Massage Work. I don't even know what that is. I have no idea what Massage Work is. Needless to say, that will not be on the MBLEx, so don't be looking for that. So, any other questions I can help with? I've got lots of experiences as a massage therapist and as a massage instructor. So what do you think? Any questions? I'm here. Hello, Cat. So for anybody new that has recently come in, the cat is named Gannon. Gannon is a girl. When we adopted Gannon, we thought Gannon was a boy because all the paperwork said male, neutered. Then we shaved the cat and discovered Gannon is a girl. And Gannon loves to be spanked. Just like that. If I ever worked from home, I mean, I'm working from home right now. I mean, you're talking about massage, right? As a massage therapist. No, I mean, once in a while I'd have somebody come in for a massage. It's so if you're planning on doing massage out of your house, you have to have a designated business area to do massage out of. So like a completely separate room, ideally with with another entrance, a separate entrance into that room that doesn't take your clients through your house. Again, every jurisdiction is different, so you're definitely going to have to check with your local municipality, I suppose, city hall, county, maybe, even whatever state you're in. You will probably need both a state business license and a city business license, since you will be operating in a specific city. So definitely, like I said, you need to check the rules for that, see what you need to do as far as that's concerned. I have had strangers come into my house. Luckily, I've got 24-inch pythons. Nobody's going to do anything to me while in my house, but that's why I recommend having a separate entrance to the place you're going to be doing massage at. Like if it's an office or something in your house, if you have a second entrance into there, like that's always a good idea. Then you can lock the other door or whatever, so nobody can get in. Geez, what else? I don't know. If you got pets or something, sometimes it can be challenging. This one's not too bad. I have 3 other cats, and I know if I set up my massage table right now, at least 2 of them would jump on it. Probably this one too, so at least 3 of them would jump on it. And I try locking my cats away, and they scratch at the door, scratch at the carpet and stuff. It's not ideal. Let's just put it that way. At least in my situation. And then I got the boy, and he makes a lot of noise. He's being okay right now. For the past half hour, he's been pretty okay. He's playing a game and he's got his headphones on, so that's why he's super quiet. But and not bothering me, which is always good when I'm trying to.
I've been attacking them.
And of course, the second I mention him, he starts talking. That's right. So what else do you want to know? Yes, you need an okay from City Hall. You will probably get a business license associated with that since you're doing massage out of your house. And the fun thing is you can use that as a deduction on your taxes. So the amount of money you owe will be a little bit less because you are using part of your house. That part of your house has to specifically be used for that business. It can't be half the time it's a spare bedroom and half the time it's your office. It has to 100% of the time be your office or wherever you work out of. So luckily I've got an office, and that's where I do my work out of. So I can actually deduct stuff from my taxes like that. So what else do you want to know?
The potion. The mission.
Spank my cat until we get another question. My cat loves to be spanked. Loves it. Might be Gannon's favorite thing, to be spanked. What do you mean you get in trouble? Like your instructors yell at you because of your body mechanics, or oh, jeez. Cats. Oh, so messy. So do your instructors yell at you, or is it something where you get in trouble physically, like you don't feel awesome afterwards because of your body mechanics? So I'm going to be honest. I don't have the best body mechanics either. It's just one of those things, you know. It's I kind of get lost in what I'm doing. You know, everybody's gonna experience this at some point. You get kind of lost in what you're doing and so focused. Sometimes you don't pay attention to your body mechanics as much as you probably should. So when I realize that I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing, I of course correct. Like sometimes my body will be facing the table such a way where I'm kind of twisting my back a little, that I'm like, wait, shift my hips and fix that. So while you're in school, you know, there's a lot to process, especially for a student. While you're in school, try the best you can to have the best body mechanics you can. So I don't know if you are actually graded. You know, every school is different. When my school is open, yes, I'm going to grade students on body mechanics. It is that important. So I don't know if you're graded on body mechanics or not, or if it's just something that your instructors talk about with you after they watch you or whatever. But try to do everything by the book, especially if you're being graded on your body mechanics. They say I'm going to wear out quick. They gave you an A minus. They said you're going to wear out. Like what are you specifically doing where they say you're going to wear out quickly? And what kind of massages are we doing where they would say that? So, you know, if you're doing a deep tissue massage or something like that, and your table is really high, I can see where you're going to wear out quickly. But if you're just doing, you know, a regular like Swedish massage, I don't know. It's a weird thing to say. You're going to wear out quickly because of your body mechanics. Are they talking about like the length of your career? Is that what they're talking about? Because I can kind of see where they're coming from on that, but if it's talking about like 1 hour Swedish massage treatment, that's a little weird. My face looks, man, bad lighting. I look sunburned. I'm not sunburned. Okay, so over time they think your career isn't gonna. You're going to shorten your career because of body mechanics, and that can be true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, a lot of massage therapists do have, you know, back problems. My wife is one of them. She has some bad back issues. I wouldn't say it's related to body mechanics. I don't know what it's related to, really. She's always had a bad back. But yeah, she goes to a chiropractor to try to loosen up her hips a bit. She has a lead massage therapist where she works, so she has to have her coworkers give her massages so she can evaluate like what's going on with them. But so she gets massages once in a while. I don't massage my wife. It's not how we work. And a lot of people don't understand. Like, I don't bring my work home with me. I wouldn't expect her to. I don't massage my wife very often. Anyways, yeah, I mean, just try your hardest. Maybe what I would do is when you are actually practicing and out in the field, if you have your own office or whatever, if you're able to actually hang up like a poster of a massage therapist with proper body mechanics in your office, so that whenever you look at that, it kind of reminds yourself, okay, this is what I need to do. My back needs to be straight. My, don't lock my wrists. Don't lock any joints really. Bend my knees a little. So just seeing that will be a visual reminder of what to do when you are doing a massage. So that's what I would recommend anyway. If you're having a hard time, if you repeatedly do the same thing that your instructors don't want you to do, you have to make it a conscious thing, and that's the best way that I can think to do it. Make it conscious until it becomes unconscious, and you automatically start doing it. So even when you're in school, maybe have a little picture of somebody doing proper body mechanics, and just set it like next to your clock or something, because you're always looking at the clock. Every massage therapist always looks at the clock. So set it down next to the clock, and that can remind you, check your body mechanics. So that's what I would do. Just something super simple like that, just to jog your memory. Make sure you remember to use your proper body mechanics. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything else I can help with? Any questions? I got stories. I've got lots of experience. I've got lots of ways to help too. So, what do you think? "42 minutes. I've been connected for 42 minutes. That's outrageous. I didn't think anybody was going to show up. I guess I'm just not that popular. I don't know. I don't know, just some weird guy talking about massage therapy on YouTube. Maybe that's why nobody shows up. I'm trying to think of a story that I can tell. The exam. Yeah, I can check really quick. Hold on. See, the FSMTB is always changing the exam, so I always have to keep up with it. Let's take a look at the exam. From fsmtb.org, candidates have 2 hours to complete a 100-item multiple-choice examination on a computer. So 2 hours. You got 2 hours to finish the MBLEx, and it should not take that long. I'm pretty sure it was 2 hours when I took it, and that was, geez, when was that? It was a couple years ago. A lot of people are like, what? A couple years ago? I thought you expect me to trust you to teach me all this stuff? But I've been a massage therapist for 12 years, including school. Been involved in massage for 15. Back when I graduated, we didn't have to take the national exam or the MBLEx. We took a city licensing exam. So the city of Reno had their own massage board, and we took that test. So after the national exam went away and the MBLEx was the only test left, I paid for myself to take it. The school I was working for refused to pay for me to take it, even though I was supposed to be preparing students to take that exam. So I paid for it myself, took it myself. So that was like 2015, I think, 2014, something like that. Anyways, but I think it was 2 hours back then. It did not take me the full 2 hours. I mean, I took my time with it. I wanted to be really thorough with it and try to get the best score I possibly could, having never seen it or anything like that. So it did take me, it took me over an hour. There were a couple questions that are a little tricky on that test. Good evening to whoever has just joined. I'm answering questions, talking about anything, everything. Just submit a question, I'll answer it. What else? There are some tricky questions that actually took me a while to figure out. The wording on the test can be a little weird sometimes, especially with the with like ethical questions and stuff like that, because it gives you like a long scenario, big ass scenario, and you're supposed to figure out what it's asking before you even try to answer it. So it's just taking it like word by word, sentence by sentence, trying to break it down and figure it out. So I would say it probably took me between an hour 15 to an hour 30 to finish the exam. Like I said, I went slowly. I was really methodical with it and took my time. I always take my time on tests. I don't like rushing. I had one student who took the national exam. This is back in 2011, I think, 2011 or 2012. She was one of those people that always speeds through tests, and I kept trying to tell her. I mean, she always did well on the test. I told her, you need, on this test, on this specific test, the national exam, you need to slow down. Don't go that fast. She told me she finished that test in 45 minutes, and my head almost exploded. I was like, what are you doing? I mean, she passed, of course. Super smart. But, man, 45 minutes. And that was, that was 160 questions back then. 160 question test. She finished in 45 minutes. She knows her stuff, I guess. So anyways, 2 hours to finish the MBLEx. So it's like, almost a minute and a half, minute 20 per question. In most questions, you won't need to take that long to answer. Just a few of them. So any other questions? Said last question. Anything else? Any other question? Malcolm. Yes.
Just leave me alone. Just make a bark.
Pet my other cat. This is Malcolm, my other cat. One of my other cats.
Malcolm.
Yes.
My Malcolm.
Yes. Sometimes Malcolm doesn't want to be held. He's a very nice cat. There he goes. Just so he can sit on the floor right next to me. Oh, how many questions too? MBLEx is 100 questions. So you have 100 questions, 2 hours. That's it. All right. Farewell. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. I'll do this again sometime. All right.